Caitlin Clark's stellar collegiate career with the Iowa Hawkeyes made her a household name. She broke records and caught the interest of basketball fans nationwide with her deep three-point shooting, high-scoring games, and keen court vision. She was more than just a great player. She rose to prominence as the face of collegiate women's basketball. Her performances regularly attracted sizable TV audiences, sold-out arenas, and even exceeded attendance figures for a few NBA games. Caitlin had already broken the NCAA all-time scoring record for both men and women by the time she entered the WNBA draft in 2024, and her fame had spread throughout the world. Her reputation as one of the most promising players in women's basketball history was cemented when the Indiana Fever selected her first overall. Caitlin Clark was the most sought-after endorsement target in women's basketball due to her extraordinary popularity and performance. Nike, Under Armour, Adidas, and Puma were among the major shoe companies that started actively chasing her with multi-million-dollar deals. She was viewed by each company as a long-term global ambassador who might increase sales and visibility in the women's sports industry in addition to being an exceptional athlete. According to reports, Arour made a compelling offer worth $16 million spread over 4 years, promising a signature shoe in exchange. Additionally, Adidas made a competitive offer that included a prototype sneaker and $6 million spread over 4 years. Puma was in the running at first, but as the bidding intensified and the financial stakes rose, they eventually withdrew. In the end, Nike offered Caitlin Clark a historic 8-year contract for $28 million to seal the relationship. One of the most important individual athlete sponsorships in women's basketball history, the agreement included a signature shoe. Jordan's first Nike contract in 1984 altered the sports marketing scene. He was given a contract that included royalties from each pair of Air Jordans sold in addition to a hefty financial compensation. This arrangement helped make Air Jordan a multi-billion-dollar business and set the standard for granting athletes greater control over their brand and merchandise. Though there are some significant variations, Caitlin's agreement is similar to those. According to reports, Clark's contract excludes royalties on shoe sales, in contrast to Jordan's. However, the deal's overall magnitude and the addition of a signature shoe show a Jordanian degree of confidence in her marketability and long-term influence. Former Nike executive Sunany Vaccaro, who was instrumental in bringing Michael Jordan to the company in the 1980s, commended Caitlin Clark's achievements but chastised Nike for failing to give her the full Jordan treatment. He openly declared that Clark ought to have been compensated with royalties or brand equity. Vaccaro claims that Nike lost the chance to treat Caitlin as more than just a high V-value athlete because she has already demonstrated her ability to generate enormous attention and boost sales. Like with Jordan, they could have turned her into a real business partner. There is more to Caitlin Clark's Nike contract than just her own achievements. It represents a significant advancement for women's sports in general. Even when their performances and popularity have met or surpassed expectations, female athletes have long gotten significantly fewer endorsements and media attention than their male counterparts. A change in that dynamic is indicated by Clark's deal. Nike is starting to treat women's sports as equally viable and desirable, as evidenced by its readiness to negotiate a long-term, high-value contract with a female athlete and create a signature shoe just for her. The decision has been applauded by supporters, athletes, and proponents of gender parity in sports as an indication that professional athletes are becoming more respected. Concurrently, the agreement has rekindled conversations on the pay gap between male and female athletes. Caitlin Clark's WNBA salary, which begins at around $76,000 annually, is significantly less than her Nike sponsorship. This disparity has generated criticism and spurred more general discussions about how professional female athletes are paid and what needs to change in media deals and league structures to encourage their development. The consensus among sports marketing gurus is that Caitlin Clark's contract is a game changer. In terms of brand potential and commercial worth, many saw it as a new standard for female athletes. She is a perfect representative for both Nike and the future of women's basketball because of her broad appeal, crossover appeal, and prominence. According to analysts, this collaboration will incentivize other businesses to make larger investments in women's sports, allowing more female players to sign contracts and long-term sponsorships. Some have pointed out that the terms of Caitlin's contract, especially the absence of royalties, might change in subsequent agreements. More fair types of athlete compensation, such as revenue sharing and equity stakes, are anticipated to become commonplace as women's sports continue to expand and generate income. Instead of being a short-term endorsement centered solely on early publicity, Caitlyn's long-term arrangement also shows Nike's faith in her career trajectory. She will be a key component of Nike's marketing strategy for a very long time thanks to her 8-year contract. This covers possible positions in Olympic ads, international basketball projects, and more general lifestyle branding. The prospect of a trademark sneaker is one of the most intriguing aspects of Caitlin Clark's Nike contract. Even among professional athletes, this is an uncommon honor that makes it clear to young athletes, especially girls, that being involved in athletics is not only acceptable but also profitable. Nike has stated that the sneaker is under active development, but they have not announced a release date. It will be the first signature women's basketball shoe in many years and one of very few in history when it launches. That has a big effect. Girls who grew up watching Caitlin Clark will now have the chance to wear shoes made especially for them by an athlete who plays like them, looks like them, and leads with grace and confidence. This product is more than just shoes. It represents advancement. Young male players have grown up wearing sneakers made by their idols, such as Air Jordans, Kobe's, and LeBron James, for decades. Young female athletes will now have the opportunity to follow suit. Future generations' perceptions of their role in sports may also change as a result of this cultural transformation. The account of Caitlin Clark's Nike contract is a compelling illustration of how skill, tenacity, and shifting perspectives on women in athletics can result in groundbreaking accomplishments. A contrived moment was not necessary for Clark. Her work on the court was the main attraction. Her $28 million Nike contract with a trademark shoe is evidence that the women's sports industry is expanding and that athletes like her should be given the same respect and benefits as their male peers. Athlete endorsements as we know them today were made possible in part by Michael Jordan's legacy. On that basis, Caitlin Clark is currently constructing something new. Her visibility, fame, and potential have made her a key player in the next generation of sports marketing, even though she did not receive the precise terms of Jordan's historic pact. This is more than just an individual triumph. It's a significant cultural turning point for women's basketball and a clear indication that the sport has evolved. Please give this video a thumbs up and share it with others who should witness this moment in sports history if you thought it was inspirational or educational. Leave a comment with your ideas. Do you believe that Caitlin's contract marks the start of a new chapter in women's basketball history? Remember to hit the notification bell and subscribe so you never miss our in-depth analyses of the biggest sports and cultural stories. We appreciate your viewing and hope to see you in the future one.